Hello and welcome to the MASLtv. We've got a special show for you here today. I'm here with Ryan Cigich, Director of Officials for the MASL. How's it going, Ryan?
Going well, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
So Ryan is, like I said, the Director of Officials for us. Ryan, tell us about how you got involved with the MASL and how you got to your position.
Well, I got involved years ago when the USL was running the league, and they were looking for somebody to head up the officials. And based on the work I've done and do with U.S. soccer, that was my kind of into the USL contacting me.
Now tell us, what does your job, being the Director of Officials, what does it mean to the league, to the teams? How do you go about your week?
Well, my job specifically is I like to focus on areas that have a direct impact on the game. So, the major decisions, or as I like to call them, the critical decisions that happen. So I'm talking about 2-minute penalties, penalty kicks, shootouts, those sort of calls that are made, not the run-of-the-mill judgment calls that, if you can debate, it's going to be one way or the other, or if we have a play. If I were to send you a clip and ask 10 people, is it a blue card or not, we may have 5 that say yes and 5 may say no. So we're looking for the clear and obvious errors that can be made to clean those up.
All right. Now, as part of your job, you are in charge of all the officials. You assign them to the specific games. You bring them in. Tell us a little bit more about your referees.
Well, quite frankly, they're a very qualified, experienced, capable group that really care about it quite a bit. If you look at the resume of our group, there's 15 of them that either currently or have previous experience refereeing at Major League Soccer. So if you compare that, quite frankly, to the player side, it's quite a bit more officials that have refereed at that level. Secondly, there's another 16 that are either current or former U.S. Soccer national referees, and what that is officials that have experience below the Division I, and that ranking is not easy to obtain either by U.S. soccer standards. There's quite a bit of testing that goes on, and if you look at just the numbers on that, out of the 100,000+ soccer referees in the country, there's only about 200 each year that gain that national referee ranking. Now, with that being said, Jeff, I'm not naive enough to stand here and tell you that everybody does a good job all the time. I'll be the first to admit that there's always room for improvement. Officiating can always get better. But, quite frankly, if you look at leagues, like I'm a huge EPL fan, so if you look at the EPL or even the NFL, those are billion-dollar businesses. And quite frankly, a lot of the same problems they have on a week-to-week basis are a lot of the same issues that we face. And, those are businesses that have multi-million-dollar refereeing budgets. So, again, not making excuses for anything. We like to be as accurate as we can and get the calls right as often as we can.
All right, great. Now, we've already talked about some rules that there really hasn't been any rules changes with the game this year, but we did specify some specific points of emphasis. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Yeah, we did. The Rules Committee meets. That's comprised of a group of coaches and owners that sit on that committee, and they've come up with basically 4 key areas. A lot of it's more of the same from previous years. Focus around athlete safety is the primary focus with 2-footed tackles. That's a dangerous tackle for a player to go into, even if they win the ball. A high chance of injury to an opponent. So we don't want those a part of the game, as well as kind of piggybacking on what's going on with outdoor and FIFA, the elbows and contact above the shoulder in the head region. We want to be very strict on plays like that. In addition, also, just keeping the flow of the game moving, trying to speed up the pace of the game. That's an area that the Rules Committee wants the referees to focus on. So, being sure that there's not delaying the game after the whistle blows. Players that go straight to the penalty box when there's a blue card or a yellow card. Things that can keep the game moving and more enjoyable for the fans.
And we saw a little bit of that this past weekend in the games. A lot of keeping the players moving. We didn't have a whole lot of penalties, timed penalties, which was great for the game. But how are you and your referees going to encourage players if there's a blue card, to go straight to the box or to quit the unnecessary arguing?
Yeah, a lot of it just comes down to communication, having the rapport and credibility with the players. There's 2 referees on the field, obviously, in our game compared to outdoors, so you kind of play that good cop, bad cop role. If one referee makes a call that is not a popular call, then that official will probably not intercede to try to get that player to go. It'll probably be his partner. Different stuff like that. And I think it's important to realize that it's a tough job by all means. It's referees have to make a decision in real time, looking at it at one angle. You don't get a do-over on it. You can't go look at something again and say. So it's not easy out there, especially based on the speed of the game. So.
Yeah. They have a tough job, and just like the players, they work really hard to be the best at their game every week. We appreciate that, Ryan. We appreciate you coming on today. Watch out. We will have lots more information about specific games, specific calls throughout the season, and get to know the game of arena soccer from the referee side quite a bit more this season. Thank you very much. This is Jeff Husett on MASLtv, and we'll see you soon.